Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lunch with Lisa. I'm Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing. And today I want to talk about the storm that's raging outside. How do we become the calm in the midst of the storm? When we're trying to heal our bodies, when we're trying to heal humanity, we can't get caught up in the storm and heal at the same time. And it's just simply not possible. The storm causes dis-ease. It causes us to be uncomfortable. It causes us to be knocked about. It causes us to be thrown off center, off kilter. And we can't heal when we're off kilter. So how do we do this? Because the storm is everywhere. It is raging out there. But if we think of a hurricane, that hurricane can be raging, but in the center, in the eye of the hurricane, there's calm. So how do we become the calm in the eye of the storm? Well, first of all, we have to see what the storm is. We have to understand why we have a storm. And people think it's because of this or that or the other thing, this political party or this virus or this whatever. But that's really not what's going on. It's what's happening on the surface. But let's look beyond the surface. Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's step back and see what's happening on a universal scale, because it makes it easier to see when we have a broader view. What's actually happening is we're seeing the end of the third dimension. We are moving from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. The fourth dimension is the bridging point. That's pretty much where we are right now. Okay, humanity for centuries, we have been living inside the confines of the third dimension. Inside that third dimension, we forget who we are. We forget that we are infinite beings. We forget that we are source itself, having a physical experience. And when we forget who we are, there's fear, there's doubt, there's worry, because we're not operating from all of ourselves. We are body, mind, and soul, but yet we are not three pieces of one. We are one. We are the soul. The soul is the infinite part of who we are. It is who we are. We cannot be not the soul. And the soul is in infinite well-being. So from the soul level, there is nothing wrong with any of us. We are simply going through some serious turbulence at the moment in our physical bodies. So what is happening is we are in the midst of the Great Awakening. This is when we all start waking up and going, hey, I'm the soul, I'm source, I'm the infinite being. Oh, wait a minute, that changes the game. Because when we start operating from our infinite selves, the self that is connected to universal wisdom, infinite love, unconditional love, that's who we are. We are unconditional love itself. That's where the healing lies. That's where the calm in the eye of the storm exists. The calm in the eye of the storm exists inside. We're not going to find the calm in the external world. That's pretty obvious right now. But it doesn't mean there's anything wrong in the external world. What is happening is that in this third dimension, the third dimension is this dimension of separation, of polarity, opposites. We have all been living in contrast, in duality, good, bad, right, wrong, opposites, me versus you, us versus them, right versus left. But what's happening now as this great awakening unfolds, instead of being opposites, two sides of the same coin, we're all starting to merge back into one. We are starting to merge body, mind, and soul. Each one of us is merging ourselves back into wholeness, into the one, rather than the three parts of one, where we operate from our mind, trying to figure out what's going on with our bodies and not really paying much attention to what the soul actually is. We are now starting to merge all of these three things back into one. And as we each individually merge back into oneness, unity, harmony, balance, well-being, the human collective starts merging back into the oneness, the wholeness, the peace, the harmony, the well-being for all. So in order to find this space of peace and harmony, we have to go within. We have to quiet our minds. We have to turn off the distractions of the external world. We don't have to turn them off forever. However, the more we disassociate from what's going on in the external world, the more we turn off the news, we turn off our phones, we turn off everything for a little while, for a period, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to start with is great. To just sit quietly with nowhere to be, nothing to do, just simply focusing inside. Because when we close our eyes, we can see the universe. When we open our eyes, we see the physical reality that's going on around us. But when we close our eyes, we connect inside and we can see on the internal view screen of our third eye, our imagination. We see what's going on. We can start to pay attention to ourselves. Who am I? What do I need? How would I like to experience my day? And in order to find calm, we have to source that from within. Calm exists always. It never goes away. Peace, ease, joy, harmony, balance. They are being broadcast from source 24/7. They never ever go away. But we simply allow our attention to move away from them. So when we get quiet, we can look inside and we can find peace or ease or balance inside, because these things are always there. So how can you, on a daily basis, start finding that peace and quiet? Quieting the mind. So many people are in overwhelm, but it's because we're trying to do this and this and this and this and pay attention to that and this person and that person. And we're so busy moving around inside our head that that thought machine just keeps going and going and going. But when we get quiet, we can start tuning in and turning down the volume on those thoughts. And we can start focusing our attention on what it is that we want rather than what we don't want. When we look out in the world and we see the things that we don't want, they don't feel good. But the funny thing is, the stuff that doesn't feel good to us, that's actually a message from our soul, from our inner guidance system, saying, hey, Lisa, that thing that you're looking at that is causing you some serious doubt or anxiety or getting you all worked up, hey, turn your attention back here, because that thing isn't your truth. That's how our inner guidance system works. The stuff that we look at that doesn't feel good to us, it's the message from the inner guidance system. That bad feeling, the doubt, the worry, the anxiety, the stress, the fear, those are all messages from our internal guidance system saying, hey, turn your attention back here inside. This is where the well-being comes from. It doesn't come from out there. And the more we can tune our focus inside, and the more we practice feeling peaceful, calm, at ease, the more we start to embody those qualities. And the easier it is to stay embodied in those qualities rather than allowing the external reality to start dictating our attention point. When we start tuning in and rebalancing ourselves, breathing with our body consciously, following the breath to allow the mind, give the mind something to do, tell it to focus on the breath. When you're focused on your breath, it's hard to focus on anything else. This is the quickest and easiest way to quiet your mind. And when you start focusing on your breath and you let that mind get quiet, you can tap into your internal wisdom. And you will start to see that you don't have to be swept up by the storm, that you can remain the eye of the storm, right in the middle, but not being buffeted about. And that is where the healing happens. So remember, the storm isn't the things that they're showing us on TV. That's not where the storm is. That's not what the storm is. The storm is the merging of the third dimension and the fifth dimension. Well, it's the ending of the third dimensional timeline and the starting up of the fifth dimensional timeline. As the two timelines merge, that third dimensional timeline is coming to a stop. Well, let's see, I don't know how you're looking at me. but one of the timelines is ending. That third dimensional timeline is coming to an end. So it's crumbling. This is what we're watching. We think we're watching this person or that person or this party or that party or these people. We're watching a whole dimension of consciousness, a whole timeline starting to collapse. And this is simply what it looks like. But what is on the other side, what replaces this crumbling timeline is amazing. It is a whole new earth. That's where we're heading. There's nothing that can stop us from moving into these higher dimensional states of being. There is nothing that will stop planet Earth from moving into this fifth dimension. So trust the process. Don't get caught up in the stuff that is crumbling. It's going away because it needs to go away. We don't need to live in fear, doubt, worry, disease, poverty, corruption, crime, war. We don't need those anymore. Let them go and allow that fifth dimensional timeline to take hold. The more we go within and balance ourselves and seek the peace and quiet within, the faster the fifth dimensional timeline will take shape. It's really important to stay focused on what we desire, not on what we don't want. The old timeline is trying to hang on. It's trying to do its best to stay gripped in our reality. So it's doing everything it can to stir up our attention, to keep us focused on it so we keep it alive. It's not a timeline that we wish to keep alive. We don't want to keep war and disease and poverty and injustice. We don't want those things any longer. So we have to let them go. As soon as we let them go, the new timeline emerges and we step into peace and ease and harmony and well-being, where there's equity for all, where it's not just a trickle-down economy, but where everyone prospers, where everyone lives in well-being, where the systems that are in place actually help us and heal us and empower us to heal ourselves. So don't get caught up in the storm. If you need help, if you've gotten caught up in the storm and you're facing a dis-ease, please feel free to reach out. This is why I am here. I'd like to make this year the greatest year for this soul sourced healing community. So I am now opening up my calendar for some 20-minute coffee chats, getting to know you sessions. Let's get to know each other. Let's connect and find out what it is that you really need. How can I help you? Not in a salesy way, but how can I improve my content? How can I make my content more relevant for you? What is it that I can do to support you? If I can directly guide you and work with you, that's great. But that's not what the call is about. It's about how I want to get to know each and every one of you. And the more we know each other, the more we can help each other, the more I can help you to see what direction you need to go, the more I can provide really relevant content that will help you. So be looking out in our Soul Sourced Healing group for a post that I will put my calendar link. Please sign up. Let's sit down, have a cup of coffee, have a little chat, and just get to know each other so that we can see what else is possible. How can we make 2021 the greatest year ever? So that's my gift to you. And please reach out to me because I really would love to get to know each and every one of you in this group. So again, my name is Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing. You can also reach out to me through my website, connectingyoutoyou.com. And I have a YouTube channel. So far, so good. Which is called Soul Sourced Healing with Lisa Warner. So you can hopefully find me there. You can find me through my website, connectingyoutoyou.com, and on Facebook in my group, Soul Sourced Healing. So thank you all for watching today. Hopefully this was helpful. And until next week, create for yourselves a great week and get quiet. Be the calm in the center of the storm. Thanks for watching, everyone. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.